Let's go. Are we actually on? You're here listening with Kayla
and Georgia,
bringing you real, raw and relatable chats on the Evolve to Thrive podcast.
Stay tuned because shit's about to get juicy as we dive into all things health, fitness, life and relationships.
Let's go. Woo! On today's episode, we have the incredible Miss Belinda Croxford, WBFF Figure Pro, also known as BodiesbyBel, on the pod as our third guest. So Belle is the founder of the BBB team, also known as BodiesbyBel, and she is, very excited to have her on and talk all things competing. We're also going to be diving deep into her inspiring story, her personal journey, how she got into health and fitness, her experience in the bodybuilding space, what it's like being a WBFF Pro, and of course, life as a very successful online coach. So without further ado, let's bring her on in, Miss Belle, the BBB Queen.
Hello.
What an intro.
How are you?
We are good and so excited to have you here. Now,
Thank
Belle,
you for having me.
what we do when we start our first segment of the pod is we start with a little craving or a tip of the week. So,
Okay.
do you want me to put you on the spot or would you like me to share my tip or craving first?
Would love to hear yours first.
All right. So I might start with a tip of the week. So my tip would be if you ever are in a car accident and you need your car repaired, I recommend Avondale Heights Bodyworks because they are freaking fabulous. So random. But this is a cheeky little shout out to my brother-in-law who has fixed my car after someone ran up the back of me the other week. So I'm
You're
very
still driving around in that little yellow shit box.
I've got this fucking yellow taxi going around, like this MG. It's horrendous. And like, I literally spoke about this last week on the pod. And the windscreen wipers and the indicators are the opposite to my normal car. So I just want the Mazda back, you know?
Oh, bless. Bless.
But yeah,
At
that's
least
my
you look good driving it around.
I don't know.
Thanks for the tip.
That's my tip. And we'll let Georgia, what are you craving or tipping this week?
Like I said before, I'm craving some TLC. I just need some tender love and care, and I'm also just craving just some fucking food. I'm
I thought you
hungry.
were going to say something else then. Anyways, no, nothing. Craving some food.
Craving some food. Just I'm very hungry, and some tender love and care. That's all I want
I'll
right
just
now.
give her a little
Yeah, give me a little cuddle.
All right, Belle, what about you? Do you have a tip or a craving for us?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a tip for Georgia.
Oh yes,
My
give me a tip.
would be get yourself some licorice tea.
I have.
Stevia in it. Oh, you have.
I
You
have.
wanna use my tip.
I've got peppermint and licorice tea. It's actually my favorite tea at the moment.
Yeah,
It's so
it gets you
good.
through 'cause you feel like you're having something sweet.
100%. It's so good.
I was going to say, if you bloody refer me to licorice when I'm 3 weeks out, I'll probably slap you.
No, you know what? When you're at this point, you just anything that's going to help a little bit.
Oh.
you need it.
Anything is good.
Anything.
Vitamin C tablets you'll enjoy.
No, honestly, that feels like a lolly to me. Vitamin C feels like lollies.
No, do you know what? We actually had a conversation on one of our episodes about Georgia and her vitamin C tablets because the gas on them is lethal. She was talking about like...
You know what? I would be even more boring and I tell you need the liposomal vitamin C anyway. So, and that's like, that's liquid. And people would think it's like cough medicine, but I quite enjoy it because it's kind of sweet.
No, honestly, anything. And you know what's even good too? I take melatonin before I go to bed, and the taste of the melatonin, I can't wait to have it every night because I'm like,
wow.
That's another level. That's
that is actually...
I'm sad, I know. I'm very sad.
All right. Well, how about we get into the questions? Now, for those listening who don't know who you are, Belle, describe yourself in 3 words.
Oh, I asked my friend this and she gave me this list of all things I can't use.
No, say it. Share them.
Say them. We want to hear.
I'll open something.
You can say more than 3 words if you like.
Say the 3 that she gave you and then say the 3 that you think Describe you.
She said, gorgeous, determined, irreplaceable, sexy, hot, classy motherfucker.
I like a classy motherfucker.
Caring, sweet, trustworthy, good in bed.
Does she know, does she?
I'm going with that one.
I'm definitely taking that one. Thank you.
All right, so that's your number one, top one. Good in bed.
Top one. I was going to say loyal, relentless, and passionate, but everyone has their own perspective.
Let's give you 10 words to describe yourself instead then. All right. So with that said, what do you do and who the fuck are you?
I am Belle. I am an online coach, as you said at the start. I do that full time for Bodies by Belle. And I'm also a WBFF Pro figure athlete. I'm the current Australian champion. And yeah, that's how I spend my time. They're the two things that I do.
And checking in with me.
By it all. Pardon?
And checking in with me.
Exactly, but I love it. I absolutely love it.
How many clients have you got at the moment?
Look, I get asked that question a lot, and I try not to answer it because I feel like it leaves people open to comparing themselves and their business and where they're at.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, it's not a great thing to do because you could have thousands of clients, right? But are you giving them all an immaculate service? Probably not. So like I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people since starting Bodies by Belle. Like I've always got a massive plate of clients. But yeah, I sort of keep that number to myself. Because I think that's a better way to do it.
Yeah, 100%.
I actually really like that answer because it's so true. We all get caught in our ways, I think, as online coaches. And especially
people always ask me, how many clients you got? And I'm like, probably more than him, but probably not as many as her. But she's not doing a good job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think give myself some time. Yeah.
I think that's so true. Like you see women and men like with thousands and thousands and thousands of clients, and they're just like, they've just copied and pasted whatever they've got and just given it to like 100 people, and they've given like the worst service. I've previously had a coach like that, and it's terrible.
Cookie cutter.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, there's no hate on those sorts of coaches, but they just need to be honest about what their service is. So if they're just selling programs and thousands of people have bought that program, that's great. But you can't say that you're coaching that person, because coaching someone is like what I do with Kayla. It's you know, back and forth. It's really like going through the journey with them and giving them correspondence that they deserve, you know?
Yeah, it's more than just a meal plan and a training program.
Oh yeah, it's tailored. It's very personal, and I think I'm very similar like that. Like I would rather have less clients and actually really hone into absolutely every variable and make sure that they're getting a really good quality service, as opposed to coaching a 1,000 people and you're just overwhelmed all the time and like you aren't providing your best quality either, right? Yeah.
Correct. So, you know, you get to a point where you have to expand, but I expanded via 2 other coaches. So I've taken on 2 coaches that do an amazing job, which is Dan and Alan. They've been with me for a long time. And then I have other things that are like programs which people can buy, but it's not the coaching service. So it is hard when you need to expand your business and you're like, there's no more of me to give. But there's always ways, you know, without having to cheapen your actual service and your coaching experience.
100%. And would you say, I know for you, for those that don't know, obviously Belle here is my coach as well. So we're on the journey together towards the WBFF. But what I will say to that is I started with you on one of those programs that you launched. So it was one of those things where I started with you on like a 6-week program just to get a feel for it. And then I was like, no, I want Belle. I want Belle to coach me. And I think that's what people lead into. They eventually want you as their coach, but you know, you can't obviously serve and help everyone. So I guess it's how determined you are and what your goal is, whether I guess you've got the ability to work with you, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, and you were determined, you had a goal, great potential. So yeah, I was very excited when you applied for full-on coaching.
Yay! With that
said, a long way.
I was actually going to say, with that said, are you selective with who you take on? Obviously, now that you do have such a large number of clients, what would you say that those that do inquire to have you coach them personally and directly as a one-on-one client, are you very selective with who you take on, or are you kind of open to expanding and kind of taking on anyone who inquires?
I used to be open to everyone, and it's not like if you're a competitor, only if you're a competitor. It's not like that at all. I used to not take on many competitors at all, but my business has sort of started to go that way because I have the demand there. But really, I just look for people that have something they really want to achieve. So whether it be WBFF, like getting on stage, or any federation for that matter, and they seem to be hardworking, they've given me a lot of detail in their consult form and I see potential in them, or someone that's come to me and they're just lost with what to do because they have a health concern that they want to, solve. So I get a lot of people that come to me with messy blood work, gut health, eating disorders and things like that. And those people I gravitate towards. So I could make my job a lot easier and I could choose people that are, what you would call bread and butter clients. They just want to lose a bit of weight, tone up a little bit, be a fitter mum. I love those clients too, but I gravitate towards the ones that have problems or massive goals because I actually really get a kick out of helping them with that.
And you'd probably give you'd have more of an impact in their life than someone that's just like the usual. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you gonna, if you want your day to be rewarding, I work from when I get up, train in the middle, continue to work till I go to bed. And what keeps me going is, that reward, because you see that person go through such like a massive transformation. They're really thankful. So you get up the next day and you want to help them again. You know what I mean? So I find those sorts of clients very rewarding to work with. But in saying that, I am open to working with a large variety of clients, for sure.
And would you say you've got more, at the moment, more male or more female clients? Or what do you think?
Female for sure.
Female, yeah. And would more than half of them be like comp athletes, or a bit of mixture of both?
I reckon 50-50 now.
Oh, really?
But yeah, probably 50-50, but it's getting more and more competitors.
Yeah.
Which is great. So I don't like to prep a lot of people for the one show or the one season, but people that come to me, they're often aspiring to be competitors one day. So they might work with me for a year or so, and then we go, let's choose this show.
Yeah.
Not everyone's always in prep, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
That's similar to like how we started, I guess, because we've been working together for like 18 months now before entering prep. And would you agree that having that back end time, that period of actually going through all of the processes, going through a really long, surplus phase, or actually building them to a point where they're on high calories, they've improved their metabolism, and they're in a good headspace mentally as well before going into a comp prep, rather than just taking them on for the comp prep?
Well, yeah, that's how I prefer to do it. So if you want to win, that's the best way that I can give you a chance of winning, by doing all of this back end work, going through an off season with you, building up your physique, because building muscle takes time. If someone comes to me and they go, hey, Bel, in 20 weeks, I want to compete in this show, like I can get that person lean. That's not a problem. Oh, depends how many calories they're on, but just dieting them down, that's fine. But I haven't built anything underneath that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can build 100%. A bit of muscle in a calorie deficit, but if they're a bikini athlete and they want to do bikini and they got no glutes, but we have to go straight into a calorie deficit, there's no opportunity there for me to improve that athlete and their shape. So,
That's literally what happened to me in my first prep. I was like, I didn't go through a proper build phase, and my old coach was just like 8 months hard cut. And I was like, I'm already like quite small. And then as soon as I got to the stage, I was like, my physique was just like not ready for it. Nothing. Skin and bone. Yeah. Skin and bone.
Did you somewhat feel like you kind of looked good because you're in that dieting headspace, and you look back at it now and you're like, geez, I was small.
Yeah, I felt like I looked at myself and I looked small and skinny. That's how I felt, small and skinny. Whereas like I got a new coach and I've put on a lot more muscle now, or more muscle than I had. And like I feel a lot better about myself, and just everything else is a lot better. So yeah, I think it's like, I think doing a building phase before you start prep is critical.
100%. I
I
agree.
think that goes on to the question that you noted down prior to this, and it was, can anyone compete? Like, no, I don't think so. And I know that's not the sexy answer, but it's a serious sport. Like, what you're going through now, Georgia, like, you're exhausted. You're putting your entire self into this right now.
Yeah.
And you're obviously, you've got the athlete mentality, so you're obviously willing to do that, to commit to this process. But a lot of people don't realize just how taxing it is. Like, it's not just a glamorous sport. It is on the day, but it takes a lot of hard work, you know? So if you haven't done, if you're not committed to, I don't know, 3 years prior to competing of building your lifestyle around this sport and really like giving your all to it, having a build phase, learning about nutrition, learning how to train correctly, all that sort of stuff for, I don't know, 3 years leading up, and then do a show, like, I'm keen to prep you. But if you've just started training and you've lost, you know, 10 to 15 kilos and it's the best you've ever looked, but that's your only real experience with competing, then yeah, it's not time for you, in my opinion.
Yeah.
If you want to win, that's the thing too. Like, if you just want experience and you want stage experience and all that sort of stuff, like, that's so fine. Like, go for it. Be proud of yourself. You've achieved something great. But if you're going to a coach and you're like, I want a pro card because your last 2 girls just got a pro card, so now it's my turn, then I'm just like, okay.
This is you.
I want to win. I mean, yeah, I was going to say, who goes into it to lose?
Yeah. Now every time I put someone on stage, I'm like, all right, pressure's on. Like,
yeah. And the more and more you get now, the more and more people are going to want.
That's right. How many girls have you coached that have earned their pro card?
2 so far, but I like to count Julia as one as well, because she did ICN and she's cleaned up 2 years in a row. So
nice.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, my girls are doing very, very well.
I love this. Awesome. I reckon we head back to the BBB questions soon, but I think we want to get into your journey and your story, and I think the listeners would actually love to know more about you. So what would you say is how you actually got into fitness? And then we might even tap into any personal struggles that you had in your earlier years before you kind of got into the competing realm. Like, how and where did your journey start? Like, how old were you? What were you doing? And how did you feel at that point?
So I was always fit, but in a very different way. So all through primary school, high school, I was like the athletics cross-country girl. Super competitive, had to win that as well. So I took that pretty far then. But I was just obsessed with running. So it was like 10Ks a day I'd be clocking before I went to school and things like that. And that's totally fine. But I wasn't healthy back then. Like, I wasn't eating properly, had zero idea about nutrition, just wanted to be the skinniest person in school. So that's sort of like where the fitness was. Then I moved down to Melbourne and I started this thing called Body Pump. I think you guys
wait, hang on a minute. Where did you live before Melbourne?
I lived in the country. I'm a country gal.
Where did you live?
Do you know where Lake Eildon is?
Yeah.
Yeah, up there.
Oh wow. That's
country
so
gal.
Cool. That's fascinating.
Yeah, there was like one gym that was like the country gym. You couldn't go till you were 16. So as soon as I was 16, I was there at lunchtime during school. But yeah, there was one like public school. I had ponies, we had a boat. So we were like water skiing. It was cool.
That's such a country girl, like that thing sick. To have a pony.
Yeah, we had 2 ponies. Yeah.
My parents grew up in the country too, and they had my mum had 2 ponies. Went to pony club. You're on a walk.
Oh, the
saddle club. Were you one of this? What were those?
No,
chicks'
I
names?
wasn't. I was a city gal. My mum was a country gal.
I was gonna say, what were those chicks from the Saddle Club?
Literally,
Lisa, Carol, and Stevie.
Yeah. It goes off my heart.
I used to fucking love that show.
That's so funny.
stream it.
Oh, wow. Okay. So do you still go up that way? Do you still do like your water sports and things like that?
I don't go up that way, no. My sister moved back there probably a year ago, so I went to visit her not long ago. But other than that, I never go there. It's like 2.5 hours away, and I'm just sort of like, unless I had a boat, there's no reason for me to go. I sort of got like cabin fever there because it was a small country town.
Yeah.
So as soon as I was 18, I was like, see ya. I went to schoolies and then I didn't return. I went straight to Melbourne.
And now you're through and through city gal.
Yeah.
So what were you saying about you started Body Pump? Was that?
Yeah, I started Body Pump when I moved to Melbourne.
Was that at Mac?
Still with the... Yes. Were you there?
So this is such a weird story. So I remember knowing you from Mac because I used to lifeguard and swim teach there.
What's Mac? Is this MSAC?
Maribyrnong Aquatic Centre. So yeah, how bizarre is this? And I remember saying to you, I was like, I think I know you through my ex-boyfriend and literally through Maribyrnong Aquatic Centre. So you used to do body pump classes there. Yeah, and I used to lifeguard there, but I don't think we didn't have anything to do with each other. But yes, I remember you from there. How wild.
That's crazy. Small world.
So how was Body Pump then? What's it transformed to?
What did it transform to? So that transformed into weight training properly in the gym, for sure. So it sort of started there, and I was super, super lean, like all the time, because I had an eating disorder for probably more than 6 years.
Wow.
So I was super lean. And when I started at this gym, I had this coach approach me. Well, she was my PT, and she approached me and she said, like, are you going to compete one day? And she knew I had an eating disorder. She was a very, very smart lady. And I said, nah, not interested. Just want to train. And she goes, oh, well, you've got potential. Like, you're really lean. And I just thought, oh, nice. Like, she doesn't know I'm sick. So I went with her to a posing workshop, and she even took me in at her house sometimes. Was teaching me how to pose, teaching me how to train. And she was just immersing me, like, in the industry, right? Because she knew I loved it, and I did love it. But I just never actually thought I'd do it. And all of these people around me, they were training hard. They were all eating all the time. So I'd go to these posing workshops and everyone's sitting there eating their chicken and rice.
What a dream.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
It manipulated me in a way that I was realizing all these people looked incredible, but they could eat. And I was a bit jealous of that because I was like, if I eat, I'll get fat. Like, I can't eat. And she ended up, like, communicating with my mum, which I didn't know either. And my mum was like, I'm worried about her. And she's like, I got this. And she did have it because look where I am now. And I have her to thank for that. So,
wow.
Yeah.
I love... Sorry. No. Keep going.
She got me to do my first A and B comp. And in that, I placed 4th. And I actually looked all right for A and B. I was like, not bad. And then from there, I was addicted to it. And I just slowly got better and better. And now I'm eating over 3,000 calories a day. So
what a dream.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's really inspiring because I think there's a lot of women out there who go through a similar journey, and I can speak from my own personal experience on this as well, which very similar story. And I want to kind of, if you are open to explore, or not sharing too much about it, but more so just the typical trend that you see when working with women in regard to this common theme. So I feel like a lot of women, before they're educated about food, what they'll do is they think that they need to eat less and they need to move more. And a lot of women, and I think you and I have similar women that we work with, and the common theme is they come to you either with a distorted eating pattern, or they do undereat, or they've got distorted eating patterns and they're restricting their diet. They might be training 5-6 times a week. They're trying to, do extra cardio to compensate as well. But then they're actually doing more damage internally to themselves. And would you say you kind of learnt this the hard way as well? And it's more so taking you time, lessons, education along your journey to get to the point that you're at now?
Absolutely. And what you're saying is 100% correct. So people have this more is more mentality. And I'm not going to sit back and say I do everything in moderation. Like, I'm extreme with what I do, being a figure athlete for sure, but not with my eating in that sense anymore. So I'm not super restrictive. I monitor my output at the moment. I only train 4 days a week, but it's intense, you know, whereas back then I was going to the gym twice a day minimum, you know, so that's cardio training. Sometimes I train twice. I even did a comp prep where I was weight training twice a day. Like, that's craziness.
Yeah.
But, you know, you learn all these things. And now that I have this knowledge that I've built up, and I continue to build up, because I'm not going to say I know everything, but I can learn something new every day, and so can everyone, right? But yes, I have learned the hard way a lot of times. That's for sure.
Do you think, like, the first prep that you went into, going into like a diet phase, do you think it affected you mentally coming from like the eating disorder?
Did it resurface, I think? Did it resurface any kind of like not trauma, but do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, did it trigger you to kind of fall back into those habits?
Strangely enough, like, I was already under eating that much. I wasn't that far out of shape. So for my first show, I was still a bit sick, to be honest.
Right.
Now that I go into prep, so if we're going back, you know, to my first IFBB show when I finished ICN and things like that, when I started dieting, no, things didn't resurface, which is really cool. But I can definitely see how for some people it would.
Oh, 100%.
I think that it doesn't resurface for me in years now. I probably started getting better when I was about 21, 22. I'm 30 now. So I just realized how much I need food to be able to pursue the life I've got now.
Yeah.
So I even think like mental clarity, guys, like I struggled at uni. I still got like HDs in my stuff, but everything took me so long.
Yeah.
I had no fuel for my brain. So it's not even just body composition. It's like, if you don't eat, how do you communicate?
We were literally having this conversation just before we came in here, and Kayla was just like checking with me. She goes, "How are you doing?" And I'm like, honestly, like
off with the fairies.
No, it honestly feels at the moment like I'm high on something, because it's just like even having a conversation with people at work today, like I could hear the words they were saying, but what they were saying wasn't registering. And I'm like, I couldn't imagine being like this on a daily basis. Like, I actually feel like I can't even function properly. I need food.
Your whole thought process is like,
nobody's home.
Unhinged.
No one's home.
Like, yeah. I was in the posing room with Georgia this morning, and I'm literally having a conversation with her, and she's just lying on the floor. She's lying on the floor doing her vacuuming, and I'm talking, and she's like literally in a meditative state. Like, no, don't fucking talk to me, Kayla. I don't need to be spoken to. And I can't actually.
There's this on mother.
Literally. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to zone out. I can't hear anything. I'm in my own world. Don't talk to me.
I'm too much.
It's going to feel like this one day.
Oh, yeah, I know. And it was funny. A couple of weeks ago, like, we were trying to do stuff for this pod, and I was like, I am like not in the right headspace at the moment. She's like, rah, 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 and I'm like, you wait till you're a couple of weeks out. I'm going to get you back.
I literally had to say to her, I was like, because even me, this was when I was in a very PMS state. I was like, my hormones were all over the shop. I was like, I've never experienced PMS like this before. I was a moody bitch, and I like took it out on Georgia, and I literally had to message her and be like, I am so sorry for that outburst. That was ridiculous.
At least you can own it. Not many people can own it.
Yeah. I'm like, Kayla, not right now.
Not today. She's
today. I'm unhinged at the moment.
Shit. And see, so that's why you can't stay that lean year round. You go for it with your comp prep. Once you've done it, you got to be willing to let go. Slowly, obviously, to reverse, but you got to let go of it, because you can't live like that.
No, and it's not. You're not good for yourself. You're not good for anyone around you. You're not good for anything that you're doing. Like, no.
I think we noticed
this. Life is the best life.
Fucking oath. I always say this. I'm like, if I were to pick a calorie deficit or a surplus, I'm going to pick a surplus any day, because I just love food so much.
I used to always want to be in deficit and always shredded, but I just love being strong. Like that's my outlet for the day. Like if I can go into the gym and I've beat my previous week with my progressive overload, like that G's me up for the day. Then I can go back to work and I'm just like satisfied. But if you're fatigued when you're training, like who wants that? So
Yeah.
that's why I would
notice
choose
it.
You're not even progressing in the gym when you're like that.
No, do you honestly feel like you're just trying to get by and do the session?
Yep. Yep. I'm trying to meditate through every set.
It's burning calories. It's burning calories at that point.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. You know, you should be able to retain your muscle mass from things like refeeds and carb cycling and stuff like that. You should be able to retain a lot of it, probably not all of it, but a lot of it. But yeah, you're not going to be hitting a leg press PB when you're 3 weeks out. It's just not going to happen.
Absolutely not.
You can forget it.
Let's tap into the psychology then of dieting, which is a question that I haven't actually got up here, but something that I think is important to mention. So in terms of psychology, like, do you think that when it comes to someone's comp prep, what would you say? I want to talk about refeeds and like, say for example, tracking their food, being in fat loss phase, and when you think it's appropriate for someone to either A, take a diet break, or B, have a refeed, or even if you don't mind sharing the difference between, what's the difference between someone having a refeed and then somebody having a diet break?
That's a great question.
So I think that a lot of different factors can come into play when people are due for this. But if we're going to go on like physical things, like whether their fat loss is plateaued, so that could be a reason for a diet break or a refeed if their fat loss is plateauing. If their fatigue is just crap, like if you're worse than Georgia right now and you're like you can't perform, you're emotional, you're crying, your scale's going up because of inflammation, you're holding water. Like all of these things happen, you're nodding like, yeah.
She's like,
yeah, all of that sort of stuff. And if you just are obsessed, like some people get obsessed with thinking about food because they're so hungry and so depleted. If they get to that point, a refeed or a short diet break would probably benefit them because otherwise you're setting a lot of people up for a binge episode.
Yeah.
Some people, like there's a lot of people that are super headstrong. Like I haven't had a binge episode, but I can't compare everyone I work with to my mindset. Just everyone's so different.
Yeah.
Everyone has different relationships with food. So yeah, sometimes mentally you need to give someone a refeed. The difference between them, that's what you want to know. So if you're having a diet break, it depends. Like if your comp prep has been super, super long, right? And you're going 20 weeks and you're in a deficit, you're making progress, things like that. Having a diet break, again, it's going to really help with compliancy to your meal plan. It's going to replenish your glycogen stores if you're in a super depleted state. Headspace reset. So it's going to do all of these sorts of beneficial things for you, but you're going to do it over a 4-day period-ish. That's generally how long I like to do them. I don't go much longer, but you'll just bump their calories back up to maintenance. You won't put them in a surplus, but you'll take them out of the deficit, bump them back up to maintenance. They'll feel a lot better. Their muscle belly should fill out because you're on more calories for a period of time, like an extended period of time. And then their body's going to be more responsive when you put them back into a calorie deficit. Because you've given them that metabolic relief.
Yeah. And I think even it's more so even psychologically, they're just going to come back and go, yep, cool, ready to come back. And I think like
that's
difference.
That's a massive one because people are like, I'm ready to hit it now. Thank you for my break. For my hit. Like, so it's much more important for people in comp prep than it is for someone that's just dieting regularly because they're not as depleted as someone in prep that's, a few weeks out. A refeed's also going to be super. I love it because it gets people leaner. If they're in a lean enough condition, giving them a high carb day will accelerate their metabolic rate again. And then putting them back in deficit, their metabolism's already churning harder and faster from that refeed that you've given them that night before. And they're going to start to tap into fat stores for fuel because you're not actually feeding them that surplus of calories again the following day. So that's why I like to do refeeds. I do refeeds with majority of my clients every 7 to 14 days because I can, even if we're in a build, it allows me to boost their calories even higher after that.
What's the?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, so someone that's in, like, for example, like me, how close out from the show would you do their last diet break or like high carb day, or would you do that right up until peak week?
I wouldn't be doing diet breaks this close, so you're 3 weeks out. I wouldn't be doing that. I'd probably stop those at about the 8-week mark, to be honest. But what you could do is you could be putting high carb days in once or twice a week now. So generally, if you're in the condition, last time I saw you, you were pretty conditioned, so I'm sure you're in the condition ready to go. But what you could do is, you could start playing your high carb days twice a week. So you're getting that hit of carbs twice a week, which is going to improve your metabolic rate. Again, everyone is different.
Yeah.
But it's also going to give you that push that you're going to need twice a week now to continue to push through the rest of your prep and give it your all, rather than dragging your ass out of bed, onto the treadmill, into the gym. If you're starting to move like a snail, you got to change something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was speaking to my coach today, and I think we've just hit that point now where I'm just like, I feel like I'm dragging my feet, gotta get here, gotta get there. It's just, everything is an effort.
We were saying to you, even like last week, how you feel like your life's just on autopilot. It's like she spends, she wakes up, she goes to the gym, she does her training, then she does cardio, then she does posing, then she goes to work, then she goes back to the gym, does this, does that. And next minute, bedtime, repeat. And like, that's all that's happening at the moment. She feels like it's just on repeat, autopilot mode.
And like, to be honest, it'll pay off, hun, because that is what you got to do.
Oh yeah, and I
when
think
you're this far out, like, it'll pay off. But that's what life becomes if you want to be a pro, and if you then want to earn a crown and things like that. Like, that's definitely all involved. That's for sure.
I think you get to a certain. I think you get to a certain point in your prep too, where you just like, you don't even negotiate with yourself about anything. It's just like, this is what it is. This is what you have to do. Don't even like, there's no room for error. So just show up and get it done.
This is the process.
Yeah, you can complain, but get it done.
What? Did you find that it got easier to just go and get it done when you were waking up every morning and you looked better?
Yeah, do you know what? It's funny because it's like there's a switch in my mind, and it's like I don't even think about, I wake up and I'm like, I really can't be bothered, but it's like I never once talk myself out of it. It's just like you just get there.
It's automatic though too, because you're so drilled and conditioned to do it. Like, it's a habit for you as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like going and brush my teeth or like showering. It's just habit now.
Yeah, and you know what? You'll probably, I don't know what your life was like before prep, but you'll probably continue with a few of these habits now that you find really work for you.
For sure.
So for me, when I enter a prep, my life doesn't change that much. It might sound a bit sad, but it doesn't. Like, I eat less, but I get up every single morning, and it's off season now, like I have been for nearly a year. But I get up every day and I do the same routine. So I have my coffee, I get ready, I go for a walk. After my walk, I come in, I foam roll, I do vacuums.
Yeah.
And it's off season. And then I continue to work. Like, I don't have to jump in the car and drive to work, things like that. So I'm quite fortunate like that. But I still have a really set routine, and that sets me up for when I'm in prep. I'm still making time for my recovery by stretching, rolling, doing vacuums, mindfulness, all that sort of stuff. Still get a lot done throughout the day, but that routine works for me. So now if I don't do it, so if someone rocks up at my house at 7 a.m. and there's like, hey, like, you want to do this, you want to do that? I'll be like, I'll freak out. Like,
I'm like that.
It's not part of my routine.
You've interrupted my routine. And now I'm angry.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to have a shit day.
Let's talk about that then, the difference between you being in prep versus out of prep. So obviously you just said that it's not much difference, but in terms of like what your actual priorities are, so when you are actually planning on going into prep this year, so you're going to be going and competing in November. So for you, when does your prep start?
It kind of has started, but foot to the floor at the 16-week mark.
Okay. Are you coaching yourself or do you have your own coach?
I coach myself, but I have Aaron, who always looks over me, and Aaron's been with me throughout my whole show, so I like to call him my coach too. He looks over me. He I always ask him when I see him, give me feedback. And he'll always tell me I look good, but then I always ask for some sort of criticism because everyone can improve. So he'll be like, calves. Like, it's like, he gives me feedback. And it's really, really good to have that person to bounce off. So, yeah.
I think as well when you're like having that person that also hold you accountable as well, because sometimes there's things that you don't see about yourself that someone else will see, which is
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And you might think you're on track, but like I could send a photo to him and think I'm peeled, but there'll be something that he doesn't like. Or I'll send a photo and think I'm out of shape, I look awful, and he'll send me screenshots of like my striated triceps, and I'll be like, I didn't even notice that. So it's really good to have someone there that is looking super close. Like with Kayla, like I'm looking close. She's probably thinking, that's a cute pic. I look good here. Send it. Or I look shit, but I'll be like, this is improved. This is improved.
Yeah.
And it's so important.
It's so funny. When I send you my photos, I'm like, I feel like I'm literally sending you nude sometimes, like because I'm sending you, like I'm in bikinis, but I'm in like a full G-string and I'm like, I'm sending her my full ass right now.
But you know what? For me, I don't even think, like I was on the plane, like I don't think it's weird at all because I see hundreds of bodies, like whether it's guys, girls, like you name it. There's a few weird things I've seen too, but I was sitting on the plane and I was like going through check-ins and I was like on my laptop and this and that. And someone next to me is like, are you a personal trainer? I'm thinking, why? And then I've realized what she's looking at. I'm like, she's looking at my client's body right now. Like, take it away.
Just a couple of nudes on there.
Wrong.
Yeah, literally. You're like, oh, I shouldn't probably be showing this to someone.
That's so funny.
All right, let's ask you, do you want to ask us some more questions about competing in the competing space?
Or even just in terms of like, other than, because you've just said that you're going to start your prep soon. Other than competing, what are kind of like your next big goals or things that you're focusing on at the moment?
As in not in the fitness industry, just like my life?
Well, yeah, both. What are your kind of your business goals or like your career goals or personal goals that you've got that you're like kind of focusing on at the moment?
Let's go through all of them. We'll do personal, career and health and fitness.
Okay, done. So personal, let's do business first. Business is my personal. So business, continue to grow BBB. So at the moment, I'm creating a new website, which is really exciting. So there's always something going on with that. Launching a new program tomorrow.
Oh, that's exciting.
Really exciting collab with Alan, which is going to be a mentorship. So I'll be telling you guys all about that in the future. But yeah, I sort of want to give people something that even if they don't want to compete just yet, but they want to advance their knowledge in like training and nutrition and health and all that sort of stuff. I feel like there's not a lot out there for that. There's lots of like fat loss programs and booty programs and stuff like that, but there's nothing where people can like really learn and go through a mentorship. So that's sort of what I want to do with BBB in the near future.
That's cool. That's exciting.
Yeah, thinking outside the box, like you guys with your podcast, like you're thinking outside the box and you're doing something that's different.
Yeah.
And yeah, you should be really proud of that. It's really cool.
Oh, thank you. We are. We're very proud.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
So what about personal?
I want to buy my next property, but I kind of want to buy it in Queensland.
Oh, yes.
Do it. Do you think you'll move up there or investment?
I think it'll be an investment, but I see myself being there a fair bit. So maybe like turn it into a B&B or something like that so I can book it out.
That is such a good idea.
Love it up there, and I've got beautiful friends up there. But yeah, here is home. So it'd be a bit of a transition, mainly with my mum because she would be distraught. And so would I.
Yeah.
That's super close. But yeah, that would probably be my personal. And fitness, I want another go at the world title. So that will be 2024.
Is that's in Las Vegas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I'll
sick.
actually be taking some BBB girls with me. So Mel and Sean will be coming.
Oh my God.
my
I
God.
knew it. I knew it. That's so exciting. That's sick.
That's
So
so
Kayla,
exciting.
Kayla,
Get
if you
onto
a
it.
photo-
Me, I'm going to be coming to Las Vegas. Hey. Let's
Gotcha.
see. Let's see.
Me and Mel
Maybe.
are already planning everything. We're just like, all right, so we're going to go here shopping. We're going to do this photo shoot.
Love it.
All right, like with goal we can
Love
work
it.
towards. That's sick. All right, so let's talk about your online presence as well. So how long did it take you to grow like the platform that you've got now? So obviously you started your actually, how long ago did you start BBB? Like how many years has BBB been a thing for?
Oh, I think it was about 2017.
2017. What do you think's
Yeah.
changed from 2017 to now in the online coaching space? Because a lot has definitely changed
Yeah.
from back then, because I've been in the industry since then too. And back then I was like a face-to-face PT, working on the gym floor, that kind of thing. So you've obviously done the the trench work too, in terms of like being on the gym floor, wiping equipment down, face-to-face coaching in pump
I
classes.
literally on the gym floor, like sometimes I'm super hard on myself with business. So it's like I achieve one thing and then I'm just like, oh, haven't done this. And it's just how I am.
Yeah.
But if I reflect back, like I literally had a pen and paper. I was working at Anytime Fitness at the time. And I was writing down my clients, like the weights that they would lift. So I was writing their progressive overload on a piece of paper.
Wow.
I would then like go home and transfer it into their file. Like I was double handling all of my work for no real reason. But I was literally doing that. Now
Wow.
it's like moved to an app where they can log their own workouts. They're watching a video of me do it. So it's come a really long way. Like it has, and I'm
Huge.
sure you were doing the same.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
I had it in like a little diary.
Wow.
Yeah.
You'd be able to take
Folders
on
everywhere, paper.
you'd be able to take on a lot more clients doing it this way now, having apps and like
It's wild how it's changed.
yeah. COVID really, I think, escalated that.
Oh, COVID, like, and I don't like to say it much because it really negatively affected like a lot of other people's businesses. But in the fitness industry, if you were smart, it made you.
Oh God,
Like,
yeah.
it did.
So,
It
some
did.
industries and some companies like benefited so well from COVID.
Like even I look back at that. Like I'd still be full-time teaching if COVID never happened.
Yeah.
Like I literally got into the online coaching space in COVID and was like, fuck it, I'm actually going to go into coaching. And now I do both. So like it's weird for some people. Yeah.
It's amazing, but it says a lot about you as a person. You know, you could have just waited until you could go back to teaching. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? But you're obviously a very determined sort of person. And you're just like, well, I'm not going to sit here and rack my brain watching Netflix. Like, no chance.
Yeah,
So,
you be productive
you
with
know,
your
you went
time.
through business. Yeah, exactly right. What did you do, Georgia, through COVID?
I was working full time from home for the ATO.
yeah.
Unfortunately, well, I was
Yeah,
before that. I was a flight attendant, so I got obviously there was no flights.
hard.
Yeah, so I was
Yeah,
working
yeah.
from home, and then I basically just set my garage up into a full gym, and
Good on you.
yeah, between that and training at home, that's all I was doing.
Yeah. But that's great. You set up a home gym as well. Like,
Yeah.
You stop.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
yeah. It was the only thing that was kind of getting anyone through, really.
But yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like it pulled a lot of people back to basics with their training as well.
Oh,
Like, for a
God,
bit
yeah.
there, I was in a garage and I was going back to doing like a lot of the SPD stuff. You
And
know,
push-ups
squats,
and
bench,
stuff.
Yeah,
Like
all
stock
that sort of stuff.
standard.
I remember doing like tricep push-ups off a bench and I was like, wow, that burns. Like, that's the worst.
yeah.
And then I was obsessed with getting really strong at that. Now I can't train my arms at all because my triceps are giant. But
Because you're more focused on the actual movement and trying to actually feel the movement rather than like trying to pull or lift as much as you could.
So true. Like I was doing bloody handstand push-ups and stuff, and I was like,
they're actually
this
very
shit
difficult.
is hard.
I
Yeah.
can't do that.
I was then getting to the point. It was just like it was a wall. It was a handstand stand. Like what do you
Yeah.
call it? I don't know.
Handstand.
A handstand? Yeah, against the wall.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, but wow. And that's the thing. Like, do you think that from that point of COVID, because I remember you having like your BBB home workout programs and then like the beauty bands and all of that you were doing.
Yeah.
So do you think that you leveraged on that quite well, didn't you?
Yeah, that was amazing. Like after that, I tried to go back to the gym floor for a bit, but I just couldn't do both. So,
So how long have you stopped face-to-face PT since COVID?
Yeah, since the end of COVID, and I miss it. Like I have days where I'm like, I'm going back. I couldn't, And then if I started, I'd be like, all right, I can take you on. Okay, I can take you on. And then it wouldn't just be one day a month. It would be like,
you'd have it all scattered. Maybe group classes, group strength. We should just do some BB strength training sessions.
Yeah, things like that. Like occasional like group things. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Just quickly before we move on, how are we going for time? Because I know you have to do some client check-ins.
That's right. We got a little bit more. I won't hang up on you guys.
Okay. Bye, beep. See ya. I think,
You're right, bye.
I think what we might like, because even talking maybe some tips for maybe some other coaches in the space. So obviously you do have quite a big online presence now, and you've decided to tap right into the realm of the competing world. So obviously you do still work with girls and guys that don't compete. So you've got a mix, but obviously your niche is definitely the competing space. In terms of just tips in general for coaches wanting to get involved with the online coaching space, what kind of advice do you have for them?
I love that you're asking me this because honestly, like this is the thing that racks my brain the most. Like I stress about social media because it doesn't come that naturally to me.
Really?
But I'm glad that you are asking me this advice. It makes me feel really good. So I think consistency with posting. Honestly, I employed at the start of this year, the start of last year, I actually committed to hiring a social media manager, which is Liv from Envy Social.
Yes.
Yeah, she's a really good friend of mine now, and she was one of the best decisions I've ever made. She keeps me accountable. She tells me you got to, sometimes I don't do it, I'll be honest. I don't do like a few of the things, but she gives me a schedule every week. And that's because consistency of posting is so important. Obviously quality is as well, but if you really want to get seen, like on social media these days, if you're not consistently posting and getting engagement and having, a significant presence, you're not going to get seen. I'm sure that you guys with your following, some of your posts would get a great reach, some would reach all of your followers, and you'd be like, why? And it's often just because you're just not present enough on socials. It's not getting shared to enough people. So I would really, my advice would be really figure out the message you're trying to send. So if you're a coach and an athlete, be that. Don't be a coach and an athlete and a this and a that and just confuse people with all this random content.
Yeah.
Try and have some direction with it and a purpose with it. So then people are like, oh, I follow her because of this. Another thing, you want to give people something that they can learn. So often I'll do an infographic. I do these like infographic posts and I'll be like, okay, cool. But like, what did someone actually take away with that? I could just give them a dump of information, but they can't apply that because they're not really sure exactly what I'm talking about. So if you can give people something that's worth saving because they see some sort of value in that, that's also what you want to bring to your page. If you're looking to grow your online coaching business. So give people something they can learn. And one thing I'm not the best at, which I need to be better at, relatability, personality, all that sort of stuff, so that they're following you as well, not
they're
just
investing into you,
your business. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, people.
That's the side I need to show more. But yeah, that would be my advice there with direction of what you should do.
I love that. That's so good. Yeah, I agree.
And also give people what you want to receive. So, some people will be like, oh, no one comments on my posts and no one likes my posts and, I'm a hot bitch. Like some people might be thinking like that. Yeah? But
that's true.
If you're a hot bitch,
I hardly ever. I only just started. I reckon since being with you and doing photo shoots, I now only start. I do actually post photos of myself. I used to be so conservative with.
Should.
Yeah.
100%.
It's so hard to think.
Photos
Sorry?
they like you. But people comment on those photos because you comment on their photos, right? So
Yeah.
you need to put out, like, if you expect that from people, you need to give as well.
I
So
agree. Yeah,
if
for
you see
sure.
someone's pics and they look good, tell them.
Yeah.
Don't just expect that because you look hot in your photo that everyone's going to comment on it. People might not like you.
Yeah. Yeah.
True.
I think that's the hardest thing about growing a social media following is constantly trying to be consistent and put out stuff that's actually like different from what everyone else is doing. Because all I see on my Instagram now is mic'd up sessions and like it's the same shit. You know what I mean?
I
Same
really
shit.
hope that goes soon.
Me too, because I'm fucking overseeing it. It's just hot girls mic'd up doing a squat saying how hard it is. And I'm like, I'm over it. My favorite
We've
is
done
the
like
food.
one, and honestly, it takes me 3 hours to do a workout if I do that.
Yeah. And it's not
the
authentic either.
Yeah, it's not authentic and so bloody time consuming. So that's why my Instagram stresses me out, because I'm like, I've got so much work to do. But if I don't post, then that's where all my leads come from. My Instagram is where all my leads come from.
Yeah.
So it's very important. So Liv giving me all these things to do, she's got a point. I should do them.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's so good. Well, then with that said, do you feel pressure to withhold, like this is you personally, do you feel like you get you feel certain pressure to withhold a certain like persona due to having such a status that you do?
My persona, no, because it's organic. I don't really try to be someone I'm not. But I do feel pressure for this constant need to be present. Yes. So constant, like I'll get up on a Sunday and instantly my brain will be like, I have to post a story. Don't know what to post. I'm just cleaning my house. Like I instantly like feel this pressure all the time. I could be at a family dinner and then after it be like, I got to post something on my story. So I do have constant pressure that I need to, show people what I'm doing all the time. But at the end of the day, like, I'm kind of thankful for that because it pushes me to have the success that I have today. So if I didn't feel this pressure in the back of my mind here and there, I could manage it a bit better. But if I didn't have it, I'm not going to push myself to excel and perform and show up. And then I'm going to be like, oh, my business is failing. Why don't I have more leads? You know what I mean? So as long as it's the healthy pressure, like it's okay.
And people also like, just with what you're saying about, you know, waking up and it's a Sunday and you're cleaning your house, people love to see stuff like that.
Yeah, they do.
Even though you think it's like nothing. Like I remember way before I got into competing, I used to just watch so many girls film and vlog their like comp prep journey just because even that they'd just be like making coffee or cleaning their house and you're like, they're doing nothing, but I'm so interested in it. So it's just like,
that's what people say to me. I'm like, surely not.
Yeah. No, I get that too. I remember there was one reel that I did, which was like my morning routine, and it got like so much more engagement than like actual educational content.
Because people care about you, and they'll invest into you rather than you trying to push and be salesy to like, do you know what I mean?
It's true. It is true. It is true for sure.
People are nosy, and I even said to Liv not long ago, I said to her, but hun, like I do the same thing every day. Like, I'll train a different muscle group. But if there was a fly on a wall Monday to Friday, like generally I'm doing the same thing. She's like, but people love to see that because it shows that you've got discipline and you know that you're hardworking. And I'm just like, doesn't look like bragging that I'm working. She's like, no.
Like, but even if it
you're
does,
working. What's so cool about that?
Yeah, and people love to, even just videos of like people talking in the car, like even, you know, when you see those videos of people doing dry scoops in the car, like you sit there, you judge, but like you still want to watch it and see what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so bad, but
totally. Like, is she
that's what it is.
Is this pre-workout going to come out her nose? Or?
Yeah, like why the fuck would you do that? But what's going to happen next? Let me sit here and watch.
It's so true. It's so true. Yeah.
Are you dating at the moment? Are you in a relationship?
No, I don't know. Hard to
Oh,
clarify.
are we confused?
We love these questions. We're like, we have to add some personal ones in here. And because of literally what you just said, people love hearing about your personal life. So
Yeah.
How do you go with dating, and what's your current status? You don't know?
I don't know. I will confirm that. I'll let you know.
I love that's so funny. We
George had the same response when we did our dating episode the other week.
She's like, "Are you single?" I'm like,
God.
"I don't know. Actually, I don't know what I am."
I've come here to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then people are like, can you like? There's like, you should figure that out. And I'm just like, but like, I don't want the stress around that. Like, I'm chill.
Yeah.
Especially like we were saying going into comp prep, mate, I ain't getting a boyfriend because
I was gonna say during prep, how do you find dating, or do you generally try to steer away from that while you're in prep?
I wouldn't push it away if like I found the husband. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not a hater of love, but I do live a very single life.
Yeah.
So I live in a house on my own, which is definitely big enough for a family. But
talk to us about your pets.
I would be claustrophobic.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But in prep, like I generally have people that are really supportive of it. Anyone that wasn't supportive wasn't supportive, I'm no longer really friends with them or dating them because it just didn't work. Like I'm definitely not a nasty prep person. Like some people get really nasty and like super, super moody. I'm not like that at all, but it's just a non-negotiable that I can't go out to revs till 4 a.m. It just happens.
Not happening.
I'm just not doing it.
I'm just not going. So
Yeah.
there's no compromise there.
Yeah.
But I think that if you've got the right people, like I think dating someone in the fitness industry is a good idea. A lot of people say like date someone different, but someone different wants to go out for dinners midweek and things like that. Like they've got different things that they do on date night that just wouldn't fly with me. But if you've got someone that, can go and have your refeed with you at a place that you kind of need to go to because you can track it there or something like that. Like,
it's easier. They just get it.
You'll make it work.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that you can do like that isn't partying or detrimental to your goal. Like there's so many things. Like I love the beach and, going to the movies, just chilling out at home, like just things like that. You can still maintain a relationship if you want to.
Yeah.
I really like this topic and this discussion because I think even outside of dating, but just relationships in general. So like with your friendships and stuff as well, like it's so important, I think, to gravitate to those people that get you and that you can actually hang out with and do things that don't include just getting drunk on a Saturday night. Like I know my social catch-ups with my friends involve going for a walk and getting a coffee because I love that. I can drink coffee and I need to get my steps in and I'm socializing at the same time. So like it works, same thing if like they want to do dinner, I'm like, well, let's get this because I can track this. And I do the same thing with my friends, whereas some people don't get that.
100%. Or you can, if you're really smart with your nutrition and building up your calories and all this in off season, you should be able to have a meal untracked per week. You know what I mean? So this is where, again, it's super important to have a season before you prep where you get your head around your nutrition and how to navigate it so that, like, to be honest, through most of my preps, I go and have yochi every single Saturday night.
Oh, honestly, that just like, I went a couple of weeks ago after the workshop. A couple of weeks ago, I went with Priscilla and Emily and they got Yochi and I sat there. I was like, for the first time,
no.
I'm like struggling to hold back I saw the dripping
awful.
Biscoff and the warm waffles. That's making me tingle right now.
Honestly, that shit makes me leaner. I've said to coaches in the past, they've been like, nah, no refeed. And I know my body so well, so this is why I do my own food now.
Yeah.
I've been like...
That's why I set my own rules.
That's why I set my rules. I eat so clean like throughout the week, but I will have a refeed. It's generally like sushi and yochi. And I'm like, trust me, I'll send you a photo tomorrow. And I'll just be like, shredded.
Yeah.
So it works for me. I figured it
I
out.
noticed this too because my weigh-in on a Saturday to you is always the leanest. Like I'm telling you, Saturday's the leanest, and I'm also going to be honest, Friday nights, I probably exceed my calories. I exceed my calories by like 300 to 500 sometimes.
Yeah.
And I'm also on really
it's a
high
refeed.
calories as well.
Yeah. So it's a refeed, yeah? So then
Yeah.
you're going to look better the next day because your cortisol is going to lower.
Yep.
And you've probably had fun with stress is such a thing, yeah? So you've probably had fun with your friends, unwinded, or you just watched a movie and had some extra calories, and your brain has gone from like, I'm not lean enough, I'm stressed, I'm inflamed, to like
fuck
relaxing.
it, yeah.
It's amazing how much your body will respond to that.
Michael,
we need to do some. I need it. Tell the girl she needs a refeed.
we usually
I'm going to Yochi.
see ya. On our episodes we usually do a segment called Rapid Fire. So we're going to ask you. We've got 16 kind of questions, and it's the first thing that pops to your mind. You just say it without justifying it. You just go.
Don't do what I do, and I sit there and try and justify every question.
So I'm scared, but I'm ready.
It's a mix of like it's a bit of everything.
Yeah.
Bit of covering everything.
Life.
All right, so the first one is, are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Introvert now. If I think about it. Yeah.
Next one.
Won't justify it.
Yeah.
Next time. Star sign.
Pisces.
Ooh.
What is
I
your
think I'm an Aquarius too, though. I don't know.
I saw you borderlining.
Yeah. Because I'm not that off with the fairies. Pisces are meant to be like off with the fairies. I think I'm all right. Like,
Maybe I'm a Pisces.
Maybe you're a Pisces.
you are now.
I'm a Pisces now. What is one of your biggest life lessons?
Ooh. Everyone has their purpose in your life. No one's a mistake.
I love that.
That's good. That's smart.
I love that.
Yeah.
Full.
Sure.
Yeah, my turn. A piece of advice you wish you gave to your younger self.
The people you aspire to be like the people you're aspiring to be like, what they've achieved, you actually can too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
You can
Like,
manifest.
I used to look up to people and be like, holy shit. But I've had a few of those people come to me like in the bodybuilding industry, and now they look up to me. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you were my inspo.
Yeah.
What a feeling.
Manifest, right?
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, 100%.
Are you a morning or evening gym gal?
I'm spoiled. I train at midday.
Excuse me.
there is no one there.
Love it.
That is the dream. Morning or evening? Oh, how many coffees per day? How many coffees per day?
3.
Yeah, I'm about that too.
Look, it's probably not a good thing, but it's just the truth.
It is what it is. You got to do what you got to do.
It's what it is.
What's your biggest ick in the gym, and what's your biggest ick in just with people in general?
In the gym, guys that take their top off and train.
Yeah. Yeah. I instantly just got mad.
Yeah, but and look at you like you're an animal in the zoo, and they're like doing ab crunches like naked. Stop it! Like,
And then they make the grunt noise like, you're like, get away from the grunt.
It's that, or they're talking to their boys like they're in a gang. They're just like, oh yeah, this beep beep beep, and they're like trying to act super tough when you're around.
Yeah.
Just like, no, that does not turn me on.
Yeah, no. I couldn't be more turned off.
No.
And what about people in general?
People in general.
Or just like, what about the biggest ick in guys, not in the gym, outside of the gym, with dating?
Ooh, in guys, indecisive, no direction.
Yeah.
That annoys me.
Yeah.
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 For sure. Like if they don't have their own goals and they're not like getting up and like going after something, and they're like slow with communication too, like it's very annoying because I need someone to lead because I'm a leader. So I don't want to be dragging them along.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell no.
And that trickles into every area of their life too.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah.
Yuck. What is your favorite body part to train?
I'd have to say quads. It scares me every time. Like every Wednesday, I'm like a little bit nervous, but I love it.
I knew you were going to say quads because I hate it. I hate quads.
What's
Oh,
your
it's the best. It gives you this like feeling of satisfaction after it when you just destroyed.
that lactic acid feeling? I love like that tight, like I love that.
The best.
It's a buzzy feeling. What's your most favorite place you've traveled to?
Ooh, I reckon probably Greece. I've had the most fun.
Yep.
What would your favorite place be?
Mine is 100% Greece, actually.
Yeah, either Greece or I really liked Budapest.
Ooh, I haven't been there.
Philippines is good too.
I do love America, but you know, it's
Come to Vegas next year.
I'll be there with bells on. I love Vegas in particular, so I'll be there with bells on.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah. All right. What is your best asset?
Can you answer that for me?
What do you think of yourself? What do you think yourself?
No, her glutes for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It'll be probably my lower body. Yeah.
Glutes or
I'm not
quads?
sure
Which one?
Yeah.
Glutes.
Glutes? Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. There's that photo you posted the other day. I was like, ooh. You're like, yeah, I know. What's one insecurity that you have?
Oh, my feet. My feet aren't pretty.
Your feet.
Yeah, my feet.
That's fine.
Like, it's not a massive, like, I don't walk around and be like, don't look at my feet, but it's not nothing on my glutes.
What?
Look at the glutes. Look at the quads. Not my feet.
Yeah.
Put the socks on.
Eyes up this way, guys.
What is your ideal?
Another thing that makes me nervous would still be like, still walking out on stage and competing. For sure.
Have you
Yeah.
have you had a stumble on stage?
No, I just care so much about it and I put so much of me into it. So I think that would make anyone nervous if it's like,
it's also
today's big day.
It's also a daunting thing walking out half naked and trying to be hot and sexy, and it's just like you work so hard for this one day and then you're there and it's like all these people are looking at me like, yeah.
Yeah. I think that like if you really love the sport, it's always going to make you nervous.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
If it's for an experience and you're really great on stage, then it's not going to make you as nervous. But yeah, especially if people are expecting you to win. It's like
Pressure
butterflies every time. But in a good way.
Yeah. All right, we got 4 more. Let's power through them.
All right. So much for rapid fire. Ideal first date.
I've never been on an extreme date. I'd love to go like in a chopper, like they did on 50 Shades of Grey, and you just or a private jet, and just like
Fucking extravagant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I will say with confidence, I have a boyfriend.
Yeah. If it's not a private jet, I'm single.
It's
That's a hard no. Favorite meal inside of prep and outside of prep?
My favorite would have to be the chicken and buckwheat pasta that I'm obsessed with at the moment.
Yum.
That's the best. Or anything with avocado, like chicken rice avocado, easy.
Yeah.
Can have that like 3 times a day. Out of prep, yochi, but that's not even
Fuck
prep.
yeah.
That's
Fuck yeah.
all right. Something you can't stand.
Judgmental people and like closed-minded people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And the lucky last, what is a takeaway message for our listeners today? What's one piece of advice you can give to the listeners? It can be to do with life or fitness or anything.
I think probably going back on what I said before, that those people that you're looking up to, like that could be you. 100% that could be you, but it's going to take work. It's going to take sacrifice in like other areas of your life. It's black and white like that. You know, if you put energy into one thing, you got to take it from another. So it really just depends on how badly you want something. and you can definitely make that happen.
Yeah.
Hell
I love
yeah,
that.
you can. You absolutely can. Oh, that
Thank you
wraps us
so
up.
much. Thanks for coming and chatting with us today. We were so excited for you to come on.
You're welcome. I feel like we could talk for another 2 hours.
I know,
We
literally.
vibed.
Yeah, literally. We'll definitely have to get you back on for another episode.
Hell yeah, for
In
sure.
person too.
I know. We wanted you in person.
Okay, well, we'll do it one day. We will. I swear.
One day. She's a busy.
What
she's a
we'll
busy
do
girl.
when we're all in Vegas at the Worlds, we'll do it then.
Yeah.
Wait, we've just manifested.
We have actually manifested this. All of us are coming. All right.
We need a penthouse, all of us.
Fuck
Fucking
yeah.
oath. Let's do it.
Fuck
Wait,
yeah.
let's actually
Yeah.
lock it in.
Oh,
Well, good luck with the rest of your prep. I'll be seeing you in Sydney.
oh
Yes.
yay! Thank
Yes.
you.
Have you got girls competing in Sydney?
I got Ashley.
Okay. All right. I'm
But
excited.
even if
Ashley?
I didn't, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. All right.
Yay.
Well,
Well, we'll see you in Sydney.
Absolutely.
And
For
I think that's
sure.
everything.
yeah.
All right.
We're gonna
Thanks for having me, girls. Mwah.
Thanks so much.
My
Have a good
pleasure.
night. Mwah.
You too. Bye.
So before we wrap up this episode, we just want to say a massive thank you for still all of you supporting the pod. And we are, if you are loving the podcast, then we want to know what you'd love to keep hearing from us. So we've had a few guests on now, and we've also tapped into a few different topics. So is there anything that you want to, leave on this week, Georgia?
Yeah, I mean, we say it every week, but yeah, let us know what kind of episodes you're vibing with, what you want us to talk more about. I know we got some good feedback about our relationship and sex episode, so I think we're going to go more into that as well. But yeah, if there's anything else that you guys want to know or us to talk about or anything, send us a message on Evolve to Thrive, or you can message either of us on our personal pages. But that's it.
Yeah. Also, if you want to leave us a little cheeky review,
Surely leave us a cheeky little review.
we'd love to hear it from you. And yeah, give us a little shout out.
Yeah. Thanks so much for tuning in again, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.